All right, let's talk about one of the weirdest animals on the planet. We're diving into the story of a bird that seems to have completely forgotten it's a bird. It acts more like a mammal, and honestly, it seems to have just thrown the evolutionary rule book out the window. We're talking about one of Earth's true originals, the kiwi. I mean, just think about that for a second. A bird with whiskers. One that lays an egg that's a full fifth of its entire body weight. It sounds like something made up for a fantasy movie, but nope, it's 100% real. And this is it, the kiwi. It's the national icon of New Zealand, but it's also a flightless, nocturnal oddball that just breaks pretty much every rule you'd expect a bird to follow. To really get what makes this creature so special, we've got to explore how it completely rewrote what it even means to be a bird. So first up, how did this bird forget itself? To really wrap your head around the kiwi, you kind of have to set aside everything you think you know about birds. See, in the super isolated world of ancient New Zealand, the kiwi took a completely different evolutionary path than any other bird on Earth. Just look at this list of quirks. Its feathers are more like hair, its bones are heavy and filled with marrow, just like ours. It has the lowest body temp of any bird, and they get around in the dark, not with sharp eyes, but with an amazing sense of smell. You know, any one of these things would be weird for a bird, but all of them together, it paints a picture of a bird that literally evolved to be the forest version of a small mammal, kind of like a badger. And if there's one fact that just perfectly sums up how different the kiwi is, it's this. Most birds have incredible vision, right? Eagles, hawks. Not the kiwi. Instead, it sticks that long beak deep into the dirt and literally smells its way to its next meal. It is the only bird on the entire planet that does this. Okay, so the mammal stuff is weird, right? But believe it or not, that's got nothing on the kiwi's most legendary feat, what I like to call the impossible egg. 20%. Just let that number hang in the air for a moment. What on earth could that mean? Well, it represents one of the most extreme acts in the entire animal kingdom. Any ideas? That's right, it's the egg. It makes up a staggering 1/5 of the female's entire body weight. To put that into perspective for us, a human baby is only about 5% of its mother's weight. Can you imagine? A female kiwi trying to walk around while carrying that thing is so off balance, it's a miracle she can move at all. And her incredible effort doesn't stop once the egg is laid. Oh no, the incubation period it takes between 75 and 85 days. That's nearly 3 solid months of sitting on a nest in the dark, which is a huge, huge risk when there are dangers lurking. But here's the twist. After that heroic effort, the female's job is pretty much done. It's the male who takes over for almost that entire 3-month stretch. He dedicates himself completely to protecting that egg. It's one of the most amazing examples of fatherhood you'll find anywhere in nature. So, all of these incredible adaptations, being flightless, nesting on the ground, having a unique smell, they were perfect for the ancient world the kiwi grew up in. But that perfection has now put the kiwi in a completely unfair fight for its very survival. You have to remember, the kiwi evolved in a world with no land predators. The only thing it had to worry about was a giant eagle swooping down from above. So when humans showed up and brought mammals with them, the poor kiwi had absolutely no defenses. It had no idea how to deal with them. And the result of that is, well, it's absolutely heartbreaking. In areas where there's no conservation help, 95% of all kiwi chicks die before they even reach adulthood. Think about that. Only 5 out of every 100 baby kiwis actually make it. The number one killer of these chicks is the stoat. Humans introduced them, and this little predator is an absolute killing machine. It's fast, it's vicious, and it can slip right into a kiwi burrow, leaving the defenseless chicks with zero chance. Now, for the adult kiwis, the biggest threat is actually much closer to home, our pet dogs. A kiwi's chest is incredibly fragile. It doesn't have that strong breastbone that most birds have for flight. This means that even a playful nudge from a curious dog can be enough to crush them. So, what's the total cost of all these new threats? In the areas where kiwis don't have our help, this is the number we lose. 20. Not per year, not per month. We lose 20 kiwis every single week. But this is not a hopeless story. Far from it. Because this is the part of the story where people step in, and an entire nation rallies to save its most famous resident. And this right here is the most important takeaway. Humans created this problem. Absolutely. But we also have the solution. This quote says it all.
In places where people are actively working to save them, kiwi numbers aren't just holding steady, they're actually going up.
One of the main strategies is called Operation Nest Egg, and it's just brilliant. Basically, conservationists will collect eggs from the wild and raise the chicks in a safe place away from predators. Once a chick gets to be about 1 kilogram in weight, it's big enough to defend itself from a stoat. Then, it gets released back into the wild with a real fighting chance.
And this rescue mission is a massive team effort. It's a whole nationwide movement, a real army of helpers. You've got over 90 community and indigenous groups on the ground, entire islands that have been turned into predator-free sanctuaries, and high-tech tools like radio transmitters and acoustic monitoring that listens for kiwi calls in the forest. It's an all-out effort. So in the end, the kiwi story isn't just about a strange little bird. It's a really powerful symbol of hope. It proves that with dedication, people can actually turn the tide and reverse extinction, even for a species that was never built for our modern world. The survival of the kiwi is possible. The real question its story asks all of us is, what else are we willing to save?